continue to watch this, because when we have a broken bone and then we have that type of injury on top of it, it does make it much more dangerous that you can ultimately end up with an infection that gets into the bone and you end up with all kinds of problems from there. So is this something where if we are not watching this appropriately, could you end up losing that finger? Yeah, that's why we need to make sure that, you know, you're having somebody watch this appropriately.
So I have a broken finger, right?
A broken finger, yes.
And then what about the meat is gone?
Then yeah, there's nothing that we can do to put this back together. That portion is just, it's gone. And being that it's 2 days old already, there's nothing different that we could have done at this point anyway. So these types of injuries have to be done in less than 24 hours. Otherwise, your risk for infection goes up significantly. But when you just take that chunk that's gone from there, like I said, there's just unfortunately nothing different that we can do at that point.
Okay. So then I just have to be in antibiotics and...
So we're gonna go ahead and get you a bandage on there. So, and then we're gonna get you a little care package that we can ultimately go ahead and have you change the bandage on it. So that way, you know, it's something that you'll need to change pretty much daily. But you know, you need to make sure you're keeping that area clean.
Let's take this video.
So this is where you have little bony fragments here.
Okay.
So you have a bony fragment here, bony fragment here. So this would be this view like this, okay? But you broke that finger. So then we have the portion here. You can see that there's the break right in here. And then you have the portion here where you can see there is the break for this top portion in here.
Okay.
So you can see that the finger is broken, okay? But like I said, when you have that kind of portion of the finger missing, like I said, the concern for infection getting into that portion of the bone is just that much easier. So that's why we need to, one, put you on what we call prophylactic antibiotics. And then we need to make sure that an orthopedic doctor is following this up. So they're going to show you how to ultimately change the bandage on here. So with the bandage that they're putting on, you're going to keep on for 24 hours. So it's going to be like a...
Can I video what you're doing?
Now, when they come in, they'll show you how to do it. So you can video that part. So what they're doing is it will be a like Vaseline soaked gauze that you'll put on there. And then it will be a bandage that goes over it, and then you'll need to put a splint on there to protect that fracture, okay? Again, antibiotics 4 times a day for 10 days, okay? And then what you need to do is you need to get in with, let's see your insurance here. So with HealthNet, you need to follow up with your primary doctor. You need to call them Tuesday.
I don't have a primary doctor.
So with your insurance, your best bet is to call your insurance to find out who your primary doctor is.
Okay.
With your insurance being an HMO, they have you assigned to somebody.
Okay.
So you need to get in with them as soon as possible. Even when you call the insurance, tell them that you have a broken finger, you have a wound that is over top of it, and that you need to get in with orthopedics right away so they can continue to watch this. But what it comes down to is you need a referral from your primary doctor in order to see the orthopedic doctor so they can continue to watch this. So that's where that referral has to come from your primary doctor.
Okay.
So that's where you can call the insurance, find out who you're assigned to. Sometimes they can help facilitate this process, okay? But that's where you need to make sure that you're following up with them.
Can I still go to work? Is that...
So, I mean, you can, but that's where, I mean, depending on what type of work you do, you have to be wearing that splint. So being that this is your dominant hand, that's where ultimately it makes it a little bit harder for you to use that finger on your dominant hand.
Okay.
So that's where, I mean, if you need to be like taken off of work, I mean, I can write you a note for 3 days, but that's the most I can do from ER. So that's where even if you need to be taken off of work, that can be from your primary doctor, or orthopedics is really who it should be coming from. Because if you need to be off for a, you know, length of time, that needs to be who it comes from.
Okay.
Okay. So let me have my techs come in. They'll go ahead and get you bandaged up. They'll show you how to change the bandage. The splint should be on all the time to help protect that fracture. Okay. And then for your antibiotic, I'm going to go ahead and send that to, since it is late and it's Christmas Eve, I'm gonna go ahead and send it to the 24-hour pharmacy that we know is open. So it's CVS at Hollywood Way in Verdugo. So I do want you to make sure you pick that up tonight so you can make sure you get started on it tonight, and then you'll need to continue that 4 times a day until it's gone.
Does it make me woozy or?
No. So this is something that I typically recommend any antibiotic to take it with food. That's any antibiotic can cause some GI upset, but that's why you take it with food to avoid that. But you need to make sure you're taking that antibiotic 4 times a day for the next 10 days.
10 days. Okay.
Okay.
You got it.
So let me get all that together. They'll be
Thank
in
you
to
so
get
much.
you bandaged up.
Thank you much.
But yeah, not a problem. But you need to make sure you're following up with an orthopedic doctor to watch this finger. If it starts getting more red, more swollen, if there's like pus coming out of that finger, if you have a fever, if you have a change in how you're able to bend that finger, you need to follow up right away.
Okay.
Okay? All right, we'll get everything together. Perfect. So
Oh,
that's the images
Thank
for
you
the
so much.
orthopedic doctor.
I gotta
Okay?
get this to the orthopedic doctor. Okay.
Yes. So let me get everything together. We'll
Thank
get
you.
you finished up, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.